tonight about just how much Colorado insurers want you to pay for health care premiums next year. Listen up. The 16 insurance companies here in our state have requested an average premium of 5.9% increase for individual plans, 7.2% for small group plans. And as those new numbers come out tonight, we explore the question, do Americans have the right to health care, or is it a privilege?
Tonight, Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski is going 360 on health care, showing us all perspectives from everyday people to the medical professionals who take care of us.
Is health care a right or a commodity? We took this 360 to the streets of Denver to ask.
If you've had a job and they have deducted from your check, they owe you health care.
I think that health care is probably a right and that needs to be provided by the government.
And surprisingly,
healthcare is a privilege.
Well, not really. Healthcare is polarizing.
I've worked hard for my money and for my health care.
And already emerging as a key issue in the governor's race.
And I led the fight against a single-payer healthcare system. And we won again.
Healthcare is a human right. I supported Medicare for all for more than a decade.
But is healthcare really a right that belongs in the Constitution? Up there with freedom of speech, the right to bear arms. Does it rise to that level?
I think access to health care is a basic human right.
Democratic Senator and Dr. Irene Aguilar is a supporter. In her view, we can't afford not to provide basic health care for everyone.
We have an illness that literally could be treated for as little as a penny a day that we don't treat until it becomes an illness in which you're needing to hospitalize people.
Because after all, emergency care in the U.S. is a right, even if you can't afford it. But we all know that care doesn't come cheap. That's why so many of us, myself included, avoid the ER unless we're practically dying. So who pays for it when a patient can't?
They put it onto other people's insurance bills, and that's why insurance costs don't reflect what the real cost is of taking care of an illness.
I can't help but laugh when I hear people say, it's a human right.
The flip side comes in strong on this one.
When I hear that health care is a right, what I hear is health care will no longer have choices. We will provide it as a government commodity, and you can wait in line.
John Caldera, president of the Independent Institute, says health care is absolutely a necessity. But medical care is a service and a good provided by a third party.
In other words, no matter how much you need bread, it doesn't give you the right to steal someone's wallet or hold up a bakery to get it.
It's a necessity that people have, just like food, just like shelter, just like clothing. But none of those things are rights.
John views the solution as a true free market healthcare system, one that kicks insurance companies to the curb in favor of real dollars and cents.
Give people their money. Let them make their healthcare decisions. When they do and shop around, the market will work.
Still others say their viewpoint comes from highly developed countries, like Canada and Germany, that have successfully figured out how to provide some form of universal health care. Why, they ask, can't the U.S. do the same?
As just the suite of rights that their citizens have.
Joe Hanel with the nonpartisan Colorado Health Institute says hold your horses on that one and take off the blinders. The reality, he says, is the healthcare people get overseas is far different than what Americans have come to expect. Think hospitals without private rooms, no fancy check-in lobby, or flat-screen TVs for your viewing pleasure while you wait for the doc to come in.
Americans would walk into that hospital and say, what a dump. And Czechs would walk into an American hospital and say, what a waste. So it's just a cultural question.
Joe says the bigger question America has to ask before we can even consider a universal healthcare future is, where's the limit?
Do you want to provide any health-related service that anybody demands? If so, who's going to pay for that?
Which brings us back here to that polarizing 360 question we started with.
Is healthcare a right or a commodity?
Only the old and the disabled should get health care.
I think that some things in this world, in this country, need to be earned.
The way things are going now, it appears that it's more about the money.
Jennifer Kovaleski, Denver 7.
All right, so just to recap here, something basic health care is a human right, and not providing it ends up costing us all. And others say it's a necessity, but not a right. And lastly, before you go, pointing to all the other countries that have figured out how to provide some form of universal health care, some say we simply have a different kind of culture here in the U.S.